We're on. Hey, Sports Blab, another edition of Sports Blab. I got a whole bunch of things I want to talk about. One of the things, we had, I know it's kind of a moot point, but we had Sam Darnold last year as our quarterback. Did great in the regular season, really struggled against Detroit. They put a lot of pressure on him, and then really fell apart in the Rams game, right? And so the whole Skol Nation, we're all like, oh, Darnold's a good, but he folds under pressure. He can't handle the playoffs. He can't handle the big moments, blah, 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 blah. He didn't do checkdowns quick enough. He hung on to the ball too long. He made bad passes. He didn't run as mobile as he could have been. It's like he froze like a deer in the headlights. So, yeah, he signs with Seattle for 3 years, $100 million. And, Skol Nation is like, well, that's good because, only good in the regular season, but not in the playoffs. Can't take him to the next level, blah, blah, blah. Well, I want to compare, I like to compare his statistics. So I want to compare how some other, all-pro, phenomenal Hall of Fame quarterbacks did in the playoffs. And I'm going to examine some games, last year's playoffs, games where the quarterbacks or the team lost, and let's look at how the quarterback did. And then I'm going to compare that to Sam Darnold. So let's start with wild card weekend. Justin Herbert, Chargers lost. He threw 4 interceptions and 4 sacks. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Let's go on to the Steelers. He was sacked 4 times. Let's go divisional playoffs, and let's talk Texans and C.J. Stroud. What's key about his performance in that day? 8 sacks. Lions. Let's go Lions against the Commanders there with Jarod Geoff. How'd he do? I mean, they got walloped by the Commanders that day, right? 4 interceptions and 2 sacks. Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Now, it was a dogfight with the Bills, so mistakes add up, even little ones. Anyways, he had 1 interception and 2 sacks. Okay, so let's go to Jayden Daniels in the conference championship, NFC conference championship, against the Commanders against the Eagles. And the Eagles, they got that rush, man. All right, Jayden Daniels in that game, 3 fumbles, 1 interception, and 3 sacks. So now let's go to the big dog, and let's go to the Super Bowl. Chiefs versus Eagles. and we all know that the Eagles walloped the Chiefs in that one as well. Patrick Mahomes, who more than any other quarterback out there can escape pressure. He can do checkdowns. The Chiefs are known for their short yard after catch passes. Patrick Mahomes is known for using his legs and being mobile and making plays where no play is possible. He had 2 interceptions and 6 sacks. So let's compare that to Sam Darnold against the Rams in the wild card. And we got walloped in that game. 1 fumble, 1 interception, and 9 sacks. So yeah, for Sam, those aren't great numbers, but it's a team effort. And look at these other quarterbacks, 6 sacks, 8 sacks, 4 sacks. And these are Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Sam Darnold is not a Hall of Fame. It's a team effort if the offensive line is having trouble. And we may just have to give credit to the opposing team, in our case, the Eagles. Same for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They can rush 4 people and bring 7 back. And they contained Mahomes. He couldn't go anywhere. He couldn't go left, right. He couldn't even go back right. And they nailed him. And so should we be that hard on Sam Darnold? I mean, our Vikings have revamped the offensive line in free agency. We've, Dalton Risner and Kevin O'Connell. Let's talk about some of the Vikings Skol Nation upgrades. Start with the offensive line. Kevin O'Connell was not happy after the Ram game and even the Detroit game into the regular season. So they went out and they essentially revamped the offensive line. We still got Blake Brandel sitting there, but they released Garrett Bradbury. Dalton Risner still sitting out there as a free agent. I have no idea what they're going to do with Risner because we go through this every year. They don't want to make a big offer. They wait till May. Who knows? Anyways, he played right guard last year, and his natural position is left guard. Brandel's the left guard. Bradbury was the center. Well, who do we bring in? For center, we brought in Ryan Kelly. We brought in Will Fries, both guys from the Colts. Both phenomenal players, especially Will Fries, the best free agent offensive lineman on the market, and we got him. So it's no surprise if we don't keep Risner. It's no surprise that we got rid of Garrett Bradbury. On the defensive, also on the offensive line, we lost Quisenberry. We lost some backups. So we brought in Justin Skol as a backup tackle. And he may not be starter, but he's a dang good backup. So helps with that line. Defensive line, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. We lost Patrick Jones. Two major upgrades. So the Vikings have totally upgraded the offensive line and the defensive line, which should have a big impact, whether it's J.J. McCarthy or Aaron Rodgers or God knows who else is playing quarterback. But it looks like we're going with J.J. McCarthy, which I could have gone either way with Aaron Rodgers starting, McCarthy back up for a year, or McCarthy taking over the reins. I'm okay with either one. I'm excited whatever direction we go, and it looks like McCarthy. I'm pumped. Okay, so we're not done yet. Vikings offensive upgrades. Rondale Moore, Jordan Mason. Now, it seems like the Vikings weren't all that happy with Jalen Nailor as the number 3 receiver. He's got skill. He's got speed, but he probably missed a few routes, missed a few passes, dropped a few passes. So Rondale Moore, he's only 5'7", but he's a little speedster. So he'll be a welcome addition. As you know, we re-signed Aaron Jones to 2 years. Couldn't be happier. But the Vikings want to go put less on Aaron Jones back and do a little bit more running back by committee, both because of game situations, injuries, beat up on Aaron Jones. He set a record for carries and rushing yards last year for his career. Caught a lot of passes. I thought we could have passed to him more, used him more. But the Vikings want more of a running back by committee, saves on the health, spreads the salt around. We traded for Jordan Mason, who took over, as you know, for Christian McCaffrey, and he did phenomenal. Got almost 800 yards in 12 games. So Cam Akers, I personally like Cam Akers, and I don't know why the Vikings don't just re-sign him. They always seem to let him go. Then they want him back, let him go. I don't totally understand all that, but I'm really liking Jordan Mason. I'm not covering all our free agents acquisitions or signings here, just the highlights. Defensive back, Isaiah Rodgers. He was on that deadly Eagles team that demolished everybody. And he was a role player. They rotated a lot. We got him. We re-signed Theo Jackson. As you know, Cam Bynum went to the Colts. That's a big loss, but the Vikings love what they see in Theo Jackson, sign him to an extension. And guess what? Eric Wilson, who used to be with the Vikings, he was with the Packers last year. We let him go in free agency. He's back, and he's good, and I never liked it when he left, so I'm very happy he's back. Let's see here. What do we got here? The one concern I have, though, with the Viking offensive line, and I'm guessing there's a plan in place, is what about that left guard position? I'm going to pop up the PFF ratings for Dalton Risner at right guard and Blake Brandel at left guard. As you're going to see, the overall PFF score for Brandel was 62, and for Dalton Risner it was 67. They both have virtually the same PFF for running plays of about 57 point whatever. So they're even, and that's just average. That isn't like setting it on fire. It's not the worst ever, kind of middle of the pack. But the key difference between them, though, is let's look at pass protection PFF. I got them up. Dalton Risner is 76 point whatever, and Brandel is 61 point whatever. So if the Vikings solution at left guard is to let Dalton Risner walk and keep Blake Brandel, I will not understand that, as Risner just looking at his PFF scores, and I mean, if you dig into sack totals and all that pressures, I don't think he gave up any sacks last year. Why would you let him walk? Slide him right in. Or do the Vikings have another plan? For instance, we drafted Walter Rouse last year. Will he compete for a starting job? Will we sign someone else? Are we going to load up on left guards in the draft this year? I don't know. The Vikings, I mean, it's still in flux with the draft coming up. They could sign other people. Maybe they grab someone from the USL. I don't know. And they're not saying. So, but that's the one, in all honesty, with all the upgrades we've done on the offensive line, we'll have Christian Darrisaw. Don't know at left guard with Blake Brandel. Then you got Ryan Kelly. Then you got Will Fries. And then you got Brian O'Neill. Excellent line, but the weak link, in all honesty, if you just look at PFF scores, is Brandel. He is the weak link. So I don't know what they're going to do. I've heard, they only view him as a backup. Maybe he's not a starter. I don't know what they're doing. But they're not saying, and we'll just have to wait. Anyways, over and out.